Flat Rock Cedar Glades in Barrens is an 846-acre nature preserve located about 8 miles east of Murfreesboro. Flat Rock is one of Tennessee's most ecologically significant natural areas and includes many rare plants that are found nowhere else. One of those plants is the prairie dropseed.
And this is the only known location for this in Tennessee. It's here and scattered in a lot of the glades around here.
And it grows like that in that kind of a clumped up.
Tight clumps, big clumps. And the way to identify it when it's fruiting, very few of them fruited here, but when it comes up in fruits, the seed will be spherical.
And so when can I look for that?
September, August, September.
Okay.
We're very fortunate that Nature Conservancy had the foresight and the resources to help the state protect this land. It is one of the few areas where you'll find this much of the cedar glades in one place, and you'll also find prairie plants, woodland plants. They're all here in one place. And many of the cedar glade endemics are represented here and protected because it is a state natural area. So this is Tennessee milk vetch, and it's an endemic. And an endemic is a plant that doesn't grow anywhere else. So it could be endemic to Rutherford County or endemic to Tennessee. And this one is endemic to the cedar glades of central Tennessee, and I think it gets down into Alabama too. So this is a rare plant that we track on our state rare plant list. There's a lot of research that goes on out here. Students from MTSU come out here, and it's because there's all these glade endemics that have not been thoroughly studied. They've been studied for years. The extreme environment is why they're here. The glades are very dry later in the year. At this time of year, they're starting to dry out, but in the winter, it's cool, it's really moist. There's a few winter annuals, one of which is a Middle Tennessee endemic called the Nashville mustard. There's a few plants in that category. And then there's all these grasses out here that are more common out west in the prairies, the shortgrass prairies. So it's really a blend. There's really no other place like this in the state. Here's the Columbo, American Columbo. It's not a glade plant, but it's a woodland plant. And that's one of the interesting things about Flat Rock is you've got cedar glade plants, you've got these prairie plants, barren plants, you've got the woodland plants. It's all here in one place. And I think this is a triennial. It will start out as a rosette of leaves. You can see some of the smaller ones. It's got a large rootstock, and then in that third year it sends up this shoot with flowers on it at the very top, and we get up about 5 or 6 feet high. Cedar glade is where there's exposed limestone, and they can either be gravelly or sort of a platey, almost pavement-like. And the woody plants can't invade because it's just too dry and hot. And you'll even see some of the trees will get a foothold, and then there'll be a dry year, and that tree will die. So you'll see some of these cedar trees sometimes that are dead, and that's why. Barren has deeper soils, but it's still a dry, really dry forest. And you'll see openings within the forest where there's grasses growing. So that's a barren. And really you have a transition here. They're just all mixed up together at Flat Rock. You've got barrens, you've got glades, and then you've got just woodlands. This is the Nashville breadroot, and it's another one of the glade endemics. Grows only in the glades, cedar glades. Has a lot of relatives out west, and one of them, the Native Americans used it as a food item. So that's where the name breadroot comes from. They actually used it for food. Yeah, here's the shooting star. It really doesn't grow in the open glades or anything, but it'll grow in these little openings in the woods. There's a little light coming through the canopy. Comes up early spring, makes a big show, and these flowers will actually start out hanging down like that, and then as the fruit matures, that'll turn up, and there'll be a little vase-like capsule, and the seeds are contained in that, and I suppose they get scattered around by the wind when the wind hits them later. Even though you'll see a lot of this in Middle Tennessee, many times in ditches, but wet areas around glades, in glades, you'll see this plant. This is another Middle Tennessee endemic, grows nowhere else in the world. This is an area where we have been doing what's called a prescribed burn. It's where we start a fire, well, we put in fire lines and check the conditions to make sure that the burn will not get out of control, and the forestry department shows up and we burn the area to take out all the woody plants and some of the invasives that come in to maintain this as more of a grassland type environment. This was burned, I think, 5 years ago, and I think it's scheduled to be burned again because there's still some of these things that we are managing to keep out of this. After that burn, a lot of the grasses just bounced back, and there's one in here that gets really tall, about 10 or 12 feet tall. It's called a plume grass. And after that burn, it just covered this upper hillside here. So it does have an effect, and it doesn't look pretty right now, but it's just part of the management of the natural area, and we'll continue to do it as needed. The natural areas are here for the public. Some of the natural areas aren't open for public access, but Flat Rock is. We have a trail system. You can come out here and hike and enjoy the wildflowers, and there's something blooming here just about the whole year because those winter annuals come up really early. And you want to bring a good guide. This new Wildflowers of Tennessee and the Ohio Valley and Southern Appalachians is a good guide, produced over many years by the Tennessee Native Plant Society and recently published. But you don't need to pick anything or pull up anything out here because there are many very rare plants out here. So you want to know what you're looking at, make sure you don't damage what's here, but enjoy the natural area.
Flat Rock is open to the public from sunup to sundown and includes several miles of hiking trails and many different plant environments. Flat Rock Cedar Glades and Barrens is located on Factory Road, approximately 1 mile from Halls Hill Pike in eastern Rutherford County.